Hi Libra, this is Lee at Fresh Astrology. If you want a personal reading or a life coaching session, you can find me at www.freshastrology.com. If you want to be a part of our tribe community and take part in our money program, you can do one or both. You can find us at www.tribetripsandretreats.com. The money program is for people who want to clean up their act around money and find progress with financial situations where they have not found progress before. And it's definitely for people ready to do some work. It's not, I think if somebody's still feeling like, I just don't have the bandwidth to do this right now, it's not the right time, it's not for you. But if somebody's really ready to do the work, this program is great. So that's at www.tribetripsandretreats.com, and we also just have a community there, a growing community, and we invite you to be a part of it just by joining our mailing list. We have a Tuesday email that goes out, and no more than that, and it has something we call Tribe Tips, and we also make announcements and give discounts to our members. So we invite you to join us. So Libra, looking at July, we have some eclipses that are playing into things that started with the eclipses in January, February. Then we also have Jupiter going direct, which plays into things that were happening in early to mid-March. So, I think of it in terms of stories and chapters in a book. It's like a chapter began with the eclipses in January and February, and a new chapter starts in January, August. So it doesn't mean that, like let's say the chapters, let's see where they impact you. So it may be children, chapters to do with children or romance. So it doesn't mean like like something ends and you never see your children again, or if a romance started at that time, doesn't mean it ends in July or August, but a new phase begins, an old phase ends. And you might meet somebody new because you will have Mars moving into your 5th house. So a lot of Libras may be meeting someone new or putting new energy into a child or a child issue. There are also issues to do around the home, with the home and work. So some of you may have started a job where you could work from home, or maybe a job ended back in January, February, and maybe something is beginning now or has started. And then you may be moving into a new phase with work, with your housing situation, and with a child or children, and with romance. Jupiter had gone retrograde in early March and will go direct. So things that were off kilter in your career that seemed to be going backwards, or they were foggy, you weren't sure where things were going, there should be more clarity, maybe some new starts. So if you're looking for a job and maybe the interview process started, or maybe you sent your application to apply for a job back in March, the way things go, sometimes you just don't hear back, when you think you are. Sometimes the way we think is, well, if I didn't hear in the first week, they're not interested, but that's not necessarily the case. Each company and position has its own internal timeline and priority status. So you may be hearing back much later than you would have thought on something you had started to apply for or express your interest in, or maybe you even interviewed for in March or even in February, and it comes to fruition in July and August. So often in this age where everything's so immediate, we can, people can reach us immediately, and we're supposed to respond immediately by text. You can't even go to the bathroom without somebody thinking that you're dismissing them, because everything's so instant now. And we're all a bit subject to that mentality, and so when we express an interest in getting a raise or promotion and we don't hear back right away, we think, well, they're not interested, or how dare they not get back to me. Or if you send a resume out and you don't hear right away, you think, well, they're just not interested, nobody's interested. And people have their own, and companies have their own timelines that don't correspond to this now mentality that we are all a part of in this culture now. So you might get some good news where you maybe had thought it was a lost cause. And some of it has to do, I think, with a lot of you with money and earnings and possibly a new job or a raise or something. So be looking for that. I think have hope. Stay hopeful. Romance too. Stay hopeful if you're looking for romance, because it looks like there is the possibility that a person could enter the lives of, Libra people out there. Not all of you, but for some of you. Also, fertility issues, like if you want to have a child, you want to get pregnant, this time in July and August could be quite good for that, even having a baby. And also beginning a new project of some sort, so a creative project, or helping a child you already have with something. Maybe helping them with their career direction. Maybe a child could be, for some of you, moving out of the home, or moving into the home, or they just become more of a focus over July and August. Is something new maybe happening for a child? When I'm quiet, I'm just looking. Mercury retrograde is happening during this time. It's rethinking for you. It's about rethinking and re-envisioning and going back over, reviewing what you thought had been your future direction. This ties into this delay some of you may have had in career. So some kind of confusion or delay you had experienced with work. I think if you use this Mercury retrograde to be flexible in your mind, to go back and review something again, go back to square one, try again, maybe because of the 11th house placement and social media and the way we put ourselves out there in network, go back to your resume and tweak it. Go back to your LinkedIn profile and tweak it. There may be something you could do there to promote yourself a little bit differently, to describe yourself a little bit differently, maybe more accurately, or maybe standing up for yourself a little bit more, promoting yourself a little bit more. You may have been a little too humble in how you presented yourself. That's a possibility. But the idea, I think it's a time of career change for a lot of you. And there's also this idea of working on your health to some degree. Issues around health and healing. So maybe some of you are working in that capacity of health and healing. Maybe the company you're going to work for has something to do with healing, or has a vision. It's a visionary place. So for a lot of, if it's not health oriented, it could be very visionary or creative. Those are some themes that you might be looking for or thinking about. A lot of you, I think there may be a job start. So that's good news if that's what you're looking for. And love too, there could be a start there too. All right, take care, guys.